And hello and welcome to Mental Health Matters with Mish this evening. And again, it's another wet one here in Rockingham. But we're going to talk tonight about grief. And on the other end of the phone, I have Chantal. Hopefully I said that right. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Oh, great. I'm not going to say that again through the whole time. So just in case I get it wrong. Hello and welcome.
Thank you, Mish. Thank you.
Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. Now, we are going to discuss grief tonight, and I believe you have some stories that go with that subject. How would you like to start that?
Oh, that's a really good question because there's quite a lot to talk about. I think what I'll start with is not understanding grief when my father died suddenly 27 years ago. Because we didn't talk about grief. I didn't understand grief. When I was younger, I wanted him dead because he was a violent man, alcohol-fueled rages.
Yeah.
Then when he did die, then I was angry with him too because we were just starting to reconcile because he lived abroad and I'd come back here. So I look back now and I realize I was working more through the trauma of it all and the trauma of my childhood versus grief.
Okay.
There's a difference.
Yep.
So in the meantime, worked on myself, and then I worked with a centre around grief. And then my mother died last year. She was 96, and Dad was only 68. So I had a very different experience around this. I never saw Dad get old, obviously, and I wouldn't have because he lived in overseas.
Yep.
And Mum, I did. Now, Mum died. It was unexpected, and there's a difference between sudden and unexpected. We can talk about a bit later. So even though we knew Mum was 96 and she was toodling along, and yes, her dementia was deteriorating, or she was deteriorating through dementia.
Yep.
She still had a presence, Mish, which was really interesting, where she still recognized who we were. So it led me down a false path that Mum wasn't that bad.
Okay.
And also the staff can't tell you, because she was in a beautiful residence care facility, how long would this go on for?
No one can tell you that.
Exactly right. But you want them to, because anticipatory grief is painful.
Yes.
And in a way you want a date.
Yes.
But in a way you also don't want the date because you don't want it to end. So this is the conflict that comes up, and people feel bad about that because you feel like for a while, come on, Mum. Exactly.
Yep.
Because sometimes I used to think, come on, Mum, please, this is too hard work. And then I go, how dare I think like that? And of course, these are things that we don't voice because we're concerned, what would other people think about you? Well, how dare you? She's your mother. Well, let me tell you, when you're in that position, you might feel like that yourself.
Yeah,
you don't
I agree.
So Mum had been good on, I can remember clearly, on the Tuesday. And on the Wednesday, I was at work and I had this real sense, because I work with energy and I'm in tune with that, this sense I had to get to Mum that day because I wasn't actually planning on seeing Mum that day. And apparently the staff said to me afterwards, you just kept saying, I've got to see Mum, I've got to see Mum. Rocked up to see Mum, and that was the beginning of the end. But we didn't realise it at the time, Mish.
Oh.
Didn't realise that she was having a turn. And she'd had a turn before.
What does that mean exactly? What do you mean by turn?
Well, a turn can be very different.
For your mother.
Oh, for my mum, she was how can I put this? This is a really good question. She was starting to. I actually don't know how to explain this.
Was she lucid? Did she know you were there? Was she?
Well, she knew I was there, but she was already, basically, she'd become constipated through some medication. And again, I'll talk about that later because of my feeling around this. And so she was out of it from that point of view, but she knew I was there. She had looked distressed. She looked distraught when I walked in to the bathroom. The staff were there. I didn't think anything of it from a point of view of death. I just thought, my heart still breaks, to know Mum was going through all that.
Yeah.
So then they put her to bed, and this happened a couple of times, and then finally she had the stroke in front of me.
Okay. Oh gosh.
yeah, it was pretty distressing. However, having said that, because she'd had one about 2.5 years beforehand, I made the assumption, well, I think we did as a family, oh no, mum will come through this time again.
Yep.
Because she did last time, and she came through extraordinary. You know, she could speak, she could still walk, didn't affect her dementia too much. So when we were told a couple of days later that mum, they were talking about getting in the palliative care team, that was unexpected.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the shock, well, anyway, it wasn't like the shock when Dad died, because Dad was in a hotel room in Germany and there was no signs that he'd been unwell, and we got the call that he'd died during the night.
Okay. And you weren't there to see it, so it was a little
Exactly.
different.
Exactly right. It was very different and brings up different things. Whereas with Mum, it was expected, but it still came at an unexpected time.
Yep.
Because we had made the assumptions the day before. As I said, on the Tuesday she was fine. Wednesday she had I call it a turn because they can never say if it's a stroke unless, after they've died. So, but it was, she was starting to basically shift into the last phase of her life.
Okay.
And so when the news came that they were doing that, it was like, wow, how did we get from there to there within a short space of time?
Yeah.
So that's where I suppose that was the shock. Then within not long day after that, we got yes, she's going into palliative, what they call palliative comfort care. It's like, oh, this is real. Like suddenly you are confronted with these words that you hear sort of as, oh, palliative care, that's someone else. You don't think, well, that's someone died, and it's suddenly there it is.
Yeah.
You are in this now. They were beautiful. The way that I still brings tears to my eyes when I think what they do is they brought in the beautiful aromatherapy and the gentle music.
Yeah.
And the staff were just extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary. Then, because we asked them, like you do, because you want to know, how long could this take? Well, of course they can't tell you that. They're not,
How long's a piece of string? Yeah.
Exactly right. That you don't want to hear that, because now you are literally in limbo land. You are in this completely different world. Nothing makes sense around you but being there. It's like you've been lifted out of your body, and this body you're in time frame, and gone into this extraordinary space of death, basically.
Yeah. Did you have brothers and sisters around you as well?
Yes, I did. Okay. And I'm going to be mindful how I talk about that.
Of course. No, we don't need to go into that.
Yeah, but yes, I did.
What I was trying to get at, were you on your own, I guess?
No, I wasn't on my own. We were, fortunately, I will say this, during this time, we came together as a family.
Wonderful.
We absolutely, because we knew exactly what Mum wanted. Wonderful. So again, that's another part of a discussion, whether it's today or down the track, is have all your paperwork in place, have what you want to have done, because as a consequence, it stopped any arguments.
Good.
Or anything like that. We literally focused on Mum and loving her, and we did like a vigil 24/7.
That's terrific.
It was extraordinary. I have never experienced something so holy, reverential, what's the word?
I don't know.
Reverential.
That's a big word for me as well.
That's right, reverence. Sometimes I get also very excited, and it was really. I didn't do the night shift in the end, because the day Mum, actually, that's right. So coming back, then they went, actually, we're now going into active care. And again, how long's a piece of string?
Yeah.
So I was on the Wednesday meant to go down, this is the week later, to my turn to do the evening shift, and I didn't get there in time. Mum had died in the meantime.
Sad.
It was sad, and but yes, it was, because, when you have done something so intensely, like I sat with Mum in the afternoons, and it was so interesting, Mish, because I find it sometimes hard because of the complex PTSD, and they call it acquired ADHD, which I didn't realize I had. I have to take my books with me or my writing, something to do. You know what? From the moment I walked in that first time, I didn't look at one book, one writing. I simply wanted to sit.
Oh.
Yeah. It is too this is an odd word to use. It's an exquisitely painful, beautiful experience and an honor to be there. Sorry, not word. No, I'm not saying sorry. So
No, don't say
tears come
sorry. No, let the
as
tears come.
yeah,
Yeah,
as someone's dying.
yeah. I have been in that situation as well, only
So
3 years ago, and a
okay,
very, very similar situation. My father-in-law, I think he was 96 as well. He was in the aged care facility, and I was there when he passed. And again, we had the music going, and all the family were there. It was beautiful. So
yeah.
I do relate to what you're saying. So yes,
Thank you.
and it's exhausting as well. All that
Oh
all
yeah,
that in as well
oh yeah.
is exhausting.
It is exhausting. This is what because exactly because even though you are sitting there in this most incredible space because you close all the curtains because they get
Yeah,
too highly sensitive, which you'd know about,
mm,
to light, noise, sound, anything.
yeah,
So you're sitting in this space like you really are cocooned.
mm,
And even when the staff came in, it felt like, no, 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 don't come in. This is my time with mum.
yeah,
Even though, and they were beautiful. I will never forget what they did for us as a family and for mum and the respect they
yes,
gave mum as she was dying.
yeah.
And if I have one more cup of tea, another sandwich, or another Magnum ice cream, I would have
I bet you've never had another Magnum ever since.
just about. You're right. That's right.
Oh gosh. Oh, that's so sweet.
It is. And see, these are the things. I don't know if you found this when you're going through this experience. You find laughter as well.
I think lots of. I mean, he was my father-in-law, and I was there on behalf of my husband, who was unfortunately working away. So
Right.
I felt a little bit outside of the
Yeah, of
family.
course.
Yet I wanted to be there anyway. So I think a lot of
Yes.
memories come up at that time as well, and a lot of happy memories. And it's wonderful to talk about that, and because they're still there, so you're hoping that they can hear what you're saying, and you
Yes.
just want to talk about the
Yes.
happy times. So yes, there's laughter,
Yeah.
and that does happen too, which is great.
It is great. And from what I understand, because this is where I'm shifting with also who I'm becoming and what I'm going to be doing,
Mm.
I believe um, hearing is the last thing to go.
Oh really?
I believe. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So I again needed to trust because working with spirit a lot and energy and things, I actually, in the beginning, actually questioned all of that, all my
Mm.
beliefs, because
Okay.
suddenly I was faced with it myself.
Yeah.
I had to really trust, was mum hearing me? It took me a little bit and then boof, I just let it go. And
Yeah.
I just went into that space. I just sat there with mum. And before she started to really go into the last phases and they gave her more and more medication, morphine and that, I
Mm.
would just put gently my hand on her arm, just say, I'm here, mum.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd talk to her for a bit. And then eventually I didn't even do that, Mish, because I just knew energetically she would be able to discern between the energies of her family
Okay.
who was ever there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just amazing. And I think it, I never have experienced someone dying
Okay.
because I lived abroad. So I was born in Australia, lived abroad. I never knew well, I knew my grandmother, but I wasn't there when she died.
Mm.
Then I'd come back to Australia, so I wasn't there for my French grandparents when they died.
Okay.
Dad died in a hotel room. That was a completely different experience.
Yeah.
Ugh, it was just a trauma upon the grief and getting the body, and
Oh,
that was
that's a
paperwork.
totally different story.
Totally different story. That is a
Yeah.
different story.
Yeah.
So with mum, it wasn't confrontational like I thought it would
Wonderful.
possibly be. Yeah, exactly. And this is why I'm so glad, Mish, we're having this conversation because I want people to realize, like I did, this is my wish for people,
Mm.
is that it's not scary.
No.
It's not fearful.
No. I agree.
It's
It's
just
something. It's something we all have to go through, and
that's right.
I think it's a difficult subject to talk about, but I think that I mean, you were very lucky that you had a relationship with your mother and you had other family around you. But can you imagine those poor people that don't have that, though?
Yes,
That die
yes,
alone? That hurts
yes,
me. That really hurts my heart.
yes. Does me too. Does me too. And I realize exactly, and I realize that mum didn't die in a hospital because it's different experience there
Yes, of
again.
course.
I'm hearing that from my little women's group that I have, talking about that and dying at home. So there's all these different experiences we can have. And also what we don't realize is that we have more say than we realize.
Oh, very much so. Was your mum ready? Did she have everything in place when she
Yes,
passed?
yes,
She had all her
yes.
wishes and everything like that?
Yep.
Great. See, I think we
Whereas,
should all have that. It doesn't matter how old we are, we should have that.
exactly. Absolutely. I'll totally agree with you. And I'm going through the process of it now. My paperwork's all in place, but I'm actually writing well, I suppose there's a word you can call it, legacy of love, but I'm actually writing out my funeral or lack of,
Yeah,
and what I want,
that's
and
terrific.
I'm doing all that now
Great. And I don't
because
think anyone should wait to do that either. It doesn't matter whether
I
you're in your
agree.
40s, 50s, 60s, whatever. We all
That's
have
it.
wishes. And I know people say, look, I'm dead, I don't really care what happens. But honestly, I think we all sort of do, in a
Of
way.
course we do. I agree with you, and I've heard that too. And after watching my experience, well, watching mum die, and my experience with that, I'm so glad she told us what she wanted.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we could honor that.
Yes. Yes, very much so.
And
Very
she was
much so.
traditional. Yeah, she was traditional. Whereas I realize now, again, because things are changing, slowly we're talking about it, I don't want traditional.
No, me either.
Yeah.
Because I'm not
But
religious, so I don't
no,
want all that stuff that
no,
goes along with a funeral. I don't want that.
no, me neither.
And I've passed
And to
on,
be,
I've told people that need to
yes,
know.
exactly. It's the people who need to know. That's exactly right.
Because
That's what I'm
how
doing.
many funerals do we go to or have people been to that it's been religious and the person's not religious?
Yes,
They've talked about how wonderful their life is, but actually they probably really had a shitty life. Do you know what I
exactly
mean?
right. Yep.
It's all whitewashed and cotton walled, and you know what? In fact, I've just got to go segue into something really quickly. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
whether you've heard of the coffin confessor.
No.
Okay, so there's a guy. I'm just getting out of that subject for a quick second, but there's a guy. It's actually his business, and he's Australian. I think he's on the East Coast. He is employed by people that are passing or before they pass, so that it's all ready for him to go. He confesses their confessions at the funeral. So there's actually a book. There's a couple of books that he does, and they're really interesting. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but the coffin confessor, it's really interesting. So you can imagine the types of things that come out at funerals, like Uncle Joe was gay, and he's got a boyfriend for the last 50 years, but he's married with 4 children. It's that type of stuff. I know it sounds funny, but it's not funny, but well, it sort of is. But yeah, so I think that's a wonderful thing because it's real and it's personal and it's
Yes.
truth.
Yes. Yes, it's truth. And that brings me actually back to my late father. Fortunately, we'd just seen him 6 months before he died. He'd come out to Australia. And we first time ever stood at the beach, Cottesloe, where I was brought up as a child, and we had some lovely memories there. And for the first time ever, I was able to talk to Dad about what would happen if he died. Now, we didn't get very far. And because he's very Catholic, no cremation.
Right. Okay.
No cremation. So, as a consequence, we didn't have him cremated because my sibling and I were both petrified that Dad would come back.
Come and haunt you.
Come and
I
haunt
think
us.
so. That would have been what 20 years ago. How long ago was that?
27.
Yeah.
27.
Oh, okay. So things have changed now. I think with the Catholics, you can be cremated now. I think.
Yes.
Because
Look, you can't.
yeah.
Hmm?
Go on. Sorry.
Sorry. No. Well, my grandparents were actually both decided to be cremated. This is even years before, because Dad no longer lived in France, and they didn't want their plots to become unattended,
Yeah.
and Dad could never get there. So they actually had themselves cremation. I don't think my dad was happy, but you had to understand the logic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it, though?
To me, it
I
does.
don't want to be a plot that no one's ever going to visit. What a waste of land.
Exactly.
No, I don't want that.
And if we're going to really be blunt, the cost involved now in
It's
a funeral.
ridiculous. And they dig you up after 30 years and someone else gets buried on top of you.
That's it.
You don't get left. I mean, it's not yours to keep. You have to lease it for 50 years or whatever, 30 years,
Yeah.
whatever it is. And then they
Yeah,
can do
that's
whatever
right.
they want with that plot.
That's right. And these are the things we don't talk about. These are things we don't know. So we seem horrified. But I mean, what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
And like with Dad, because they brought him back, he had to be fully embalmed and the coffin had to be lead lined.
Wow.
Yeah. So that took a whole another.
It's so expensive.
Yeah, but we were lucky. We were excused that Dad, thank you. It was his last trip. It was a business trip, and he was meant to retire. So we got this
certainly
all
did.
on the business insurance,
Oh, wow.
travel insurance.
Oh, my Lord. Thank goodness.
Otherwise, we could never have done it.
No.
Yeah. No. We'd have to.
Wow.
My brother and I'd have to really worked out. Do we cremate Dad?
Before he come over.
Before he come over. So we were really fortunate that they'd paid all that, and it was a lot of money. But that's a different thing, because then they chose the coffin. See, with Mum, I chose the coffin, but I could. That's the other good thing about the modern technology. We're all on WhatsApp, the family.
Yep.
So they knew when I was going. So right, do you want this? Do you want that? Should we do this? Should we do that? But it's overwhelming.
Yes. Yes.
So coming back to what we're saying, having everything ready. That's the only thing, Mum. I didn't think of doing before Mum died. Was we knew she wanted the women's funeral directors.
Yeah.
Yes. I did not think to go in advance to choose the coffin or the flowers or everything else. That's something I would recommend people do.
Yeah.
Whereas someone else, where I was working, I suggested that she look at getting a coffin. In advance. For her, that was too distressing because it meant like
final.
The person. It was final.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I had to really step back, because to me it felt so logical. Just do it, because then once you've done it, you don't need to worry about it. It's done.
Yeah, my mother-in-law, who's 93, she's done her complete funeral plan down to the readings in the church. Everything's done.
Yep.
And that's a relief, because there's 4 children and they don't get along, so at least they can't argue about it, because they've got it all sorted. Yes,
that's exactly right. And it's brilliant. In fact, I'm reading somewhere else, I heard, is all that done, and what food you'd want, where you'd like to get it from, because what you're doing is it's thoughtful, it's leaving a legacy of love, because anyone who's listening would also know, who has been through grief or through that, you have no concept of who you are and where you are, or you just go through each day.
You're a complete zombie. You can't think. You can't think of anything. So if you have to, discuss about what coffin is Mum going to have, you're looking at them as if to say, well, I don't know. I don't know what she would want. So to have that written on a piece of paper, everything written out, everything down to the last dot on the I.
Yep.
And there's no thoughts. All you can worry about is grieving, and that's all you should be doing at that time.
That's right. That's what you should be doing. Yet, you look at our society, I think from work, I got 3 days compassionate leave.
Wow. That's insane.
Yes, I was working.
And yet, if you have a baby, they're thinking about giving you 6 months these days.
That's right.
Leave.
I hadn't thought of that. Exactly.
Come on. 3
days. That's it. That's right. And you're meant to go back and pretend nothing's happened, because that's how we talk about grief, or don't talk about grief.
I think we do it wrong. I honestly do.
Yes.
I think we're going backwards when it comes to this sort of thing. Back in many, many, many moons ago, people used to celebrate people when they died. We don't do that now. It's all somber and black and quiet and crying, and it's not happy anymore. You're supposed to celebrate their life, not grieving. I know, but you're going to grieve. That's just a natural thing of it. But why don't we celebrate their life?
Exactly, and do the processes. Like, I never thought that I could or would or be able to wash Mum's body.
Ah, right.
And on the weekend before she died, she gave me a message through her spirit. Wash my body. I'd love you to wash my body. I was like, oh, hang on. Yeah, it was extraordinary. And so I thought, okay, well, I'd actually like to do that. And so I went to the facility and they said, absolutely, you can do that.
Oh,
You see, no one talks about it. They don't offer
no.
it. No one talks about it. People think, oh, I don't want to do that, touch a dead body.
That's your mother.
And exactly. It was the most, even though we had friction in life, and I'm grieving now for the mother I didn't have. However, in that moment, when she was dying, and I had a lot of therapy to help me to get to this point, I could just be with her, Mish, with love.
You know what? That's the most respectful thing you could ever do.
Mm.
What you did. The most respectful thing you could have ever done for her is to wash her body.
Yes. Thank
the last
you.
thing you could have done for her.
That's right. It was the most, again, holy, reverential experience. And I used to make my own creams and mists. So I brought the mist in. The staff stood there. You know, they were behind me, again, just with respect.
Of course, yeah.
They got all the stuff ready that I needed. I could use the cloth and my lovely rose mist. Then they would roll mum up. So they say Helen. My mum's name was Helen. So they'd do that part. That was challenging for me. And they know how to do it,
of course,
respectfully. Then my niece happened to be sitting outside. She wasn't sure she wanted to come in. So I invited her, would you like to come in? Because we use my beautiful body butter that I make. And she decided to come in. We both beautifully, put this cream on mum.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, tears are still coming to my eyes.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful. And these are the things, I think, what you were saying before, that we don't know we can do. We've forgotten about them, a lot of us. It's just, okay, they've died. Get them in the coffin. Get them in the ground. Have the wake, move on.
Yes. Yeah.
As if they didn't exist.
That's the process that we're sort of told that's how it's to be.
Exactly.
But who's to tell us that's how it's to be, you know?
That's right. But because we believe authority, or because that's how it's done, and we don't understand, we can do it differently. So this is, again, Mish, why I think this is thank you for giving me this opportunity to share this, because this is what I want to talk about a lot more. It's not just about grief, because grief in itself is huge. It's that whole thing around death.
We could go on about it for hours, to be honest with you, because grief in itself has many umbrellas as well.
That's right.
In different forms.
That's
because
right.
I was going to bring up and the fact that you're probably grieving over your father, and the fact that because you had a difficult upbringing with him, so that's one grief that you're dealing with.
That's right.
The fact you didn't have the father that you wanted as well.
Exactly.
So there's so much to it, it's very in depth, and so many different ways it can be talked about grief.
That's right, Mish, and it's complicated.
It is very complicated.
And this is what people don't understand. It depends on the relationship you had with that person.
Yes.
It depends on... So that's another thing I learned. No families don't often grieve well because they've had different relationships with the father, parent, sibling, whatever. Yep. So people don't understand that. So yes, and then there's all sorts of grief comes in, then there's mental health, and then there could be depression. There's so much involved here that we don't talk about.
No, it's a shame that it's not talked about. And it should be an open conversation, because it's not something that... what I'm trying to say is it's something that we all have to deal with at some time in our life. There's going to be someone who will die that we know. It could be someone close, it could be a friend, whatever. We will deal with it at some stage in our life. So why... It's the same as someone giving birth. Like we celebrate the birth of a child, and it's talked about, and it's all exciting. We all go through that. Now we also all go through death. So why can't we discuss it as human beings? Obviously, some people are going to have different ideas, and that's fine, because religion comes into it as well. Culture comes into it as well. So, we all have different ideas. And not to say that one person's right and the other person's wrong. We all deal with it in a different ways. So, but I think it's important that we talk about it. But I love watching, I was watching something on, I can't remember what it was now. It must have been on YouTube or something, but it was funerals in New Zealand. Oh, they're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. That's how I want to go. Just send me over to New Zealand and let them sing to me. Because they do it right. I think they do it right. I do.
Yes.
To me, that's how I would want to go. I'm changing your
And
nationality.
yeah, well, I'll come with you, Mish,
Yeah.
because also the other thing I remembered when I was younger living in Europe, particularly when you went through a village and that someone had died, the whole village would follow
Yes,
the
yes,
hearse.
yes,
Everyone would stop. The traffic would
yes,
stop. You didn't take over. You just all followed.
yes.
And
Yeah,
when my grandpa died, and he was more in a town than the village had grown into a town, my grandma and my father would sit at the coffin, and they had open coffin in the church for however many days.
yes,
So the public, because grandpa was well known through the wool
yep,
industry and fishing and, all the,
yeah,
things that and so they had public grief and they
yeah.
had personal
I think
grief.
that's important too
It
because
is.
death is a ripple effect. It runs through deep from family to friends to relatives to villagers to church people to people in the footy, whatever. It ripples through. So we all grieve in a different way, and I've got stories about that as well. And I would love to be able to talk to you about this another time.
Okay.
But
Sounds good.
we're running out of time, unfortunately. But
Yes, it went very fast.
yeah, I know. But there's so much we could talk about on this, just on this one subject. Absolutely.
Yes,
So I would
agreed.
love to have you back on if you would like to.
Oh, more than happy to, Mish, because like you, I think it's important. I'd
Yeah.
like to make it part of conversation, normalize it, and for people to not to fear. Now, the other discussion might be worth having down the track too is you facing your own death.
I think that also comes into the fact of preparing and telling people what your
Yes.
wishes are. And
Yeah.
I've been quite open with that myself. I'm 59 this year. And again, I don't think it comes down to age anyway, but as you get older, you start thinking about that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I've voiced my wishes, and I think in my will, I've also listed the things that I want as well. So,
Yes.
not that I really, because I'm not religious, I don't really care what happens to me, but I sort of, if they're going to do something, then do it my way, you know?
That's exact, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I've made it.
Just in
I'm
case
just,
I am there for any reason, just in case I am
yes.
watching, I prefer you
Yes,
to
that's
I'd be preferring you to play the music that I like. Thank you very much.
that's
You know, I mean,
That's
we
right.
don't know. I mean, I could be standing at the back there watching over them for all I know. But
Well, I will be. I will be.
there you go.
I'll be.
No,
Yes.
no,
Sorry.
no. Let's not talk about that. Yeah.
No.
Anyway, so we're going to leave it there, I think, because we could go on.
Yes.
I really appreciate. It's been a great conversation.
It has, Mish, and thank you.
No,
Thank you
thank
for trusting me
Thank
as well.
you for being courageous and coming on and talking about something that's not talked about very often. It's almost like it's a story that is untellable. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And there's a lot of
Yes.
that when it comes to mental health as well. It's telling the untellable, and I love it when people can be courageous and come on and talk about their stories, because people will relate. Someone will relate. And,
That's right.
And if I can help one person, then I've I've succeeded in life.
Agree.
Put it that way.
Yes.
That's all I
Agree
want out
with
of
you,
this.
Mish.
Yeah, that's all I want out of this.
Yes.
So I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. We will definitely get back to this. I'm definitely going to do a part 2, I think.
Okay.
And we will definitely get back to it and, continue on with our conversation. So for anyone out there who's been listening today, hopefully you've got something out of it and you've enjoyed our conversation. I think it's gone quite freely and quite nice. So join us another time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mish.
See you
Thank
later.
everyone.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.